Hi, Eric Linask here with TMC. We're in San Jose, California this week with the TMC Road Show. And I have on the program with me now John Giere from Openwave Mobility. John, thanks for joining me.
Hey, Eric, thanks for having me.
So tell me a little
Welcome
bit.
to San Jose.
You know what? The weather's beautiful here. Certainly
Yes,
beats
it's
what we
great.
have out east.
Yeah.
Tell me a little about what's Openwave Mobility doing? What are you all about right now?
Sure. Openwave Mobility is focused on what we think is the biggest challenge and opportunity in the mobile data network for the next 5 years. And that is finding a way to make video content and the users that access profitable for mobile operator carriers.
What is the challenge? Why? Obviously, one challenge is that there's so much content and data being driven across the networks, but specifically with regard to video, what is the major challenge for the operators?
You know, it's the classic, more content, video content's being posted to the web. More people are consuming it at a speed and a level faster than we can simply profitably build video networks. We can continue to add capacity, Eric, but the key word is profitability. So we've got to find a way to get in front of this speeding train, or the business and the industry could be in some dire straits in the years ahead. So quite simply, the way we look at it is we've built a platform that focuses on the bottom line. We provide video optimization on that platform that allows you through tricks and algorithms and inline MPEG-4 caching and a whole variety of sophisticated techniques to minimize the data carriage as best you can, but important, don't affect the quality of the user experience, discernible quality. On the other hand, we also have the top line. So it's simply not enough to arbitrage the problem. That just gets you into a zero-sum game. You've got to go address the problem. And the problem is people are using the content from third-party services, but we're charging them and marketing it in a way that's frankly confusing. You know how many gigabits you used today? Last month, the month before? Neither do I,
No.
to tell you the truth. Now, I can go on my phone and figure it out, but hey, who does that? The fact of the matter is I'd rather buy my content by application, by the format, HD, by the site, by Netflix or some other third-party content provider. One recent example we've had that's been very successful is we've been working with an operator now selling video by the hour. And interestingly enough, they offer 2-hour, 5-hour, and day passes, as well as casual roaming passes. And it allows the user to determine real-time when they want to access video and how they'd like to pay for it, and to be able to metric it very, very simply in a way they understand. So you're in line, you're either in an application or a browsing session, you want to go to access some video content, boom, you get offered a variety of choices. You select those choices, you make that decision, and then therefore you better understand what you're paying for.
So are you talking about all video content in general, or specific to sort of either over the top like Hulu or Netflix, or network video from the CBS, NBC, so on, or user-generated content from YouTube and things like that, or is it all of the above?
That's the beauty of it. You can, as an operator, select what content you want to charge for and how you want to charge for that access. Because after all, the content itself is, of course, posted to the web, but the access to that content, for how long you can use it and what format it would be delivered in, is your option. And what, by the way, what network you might get on, Wi-Fi versus 4G versus 3G. The very simple proposition is that the more selections and choice you give users, the better they feel about using it. And we see that all around. I mean, we look at the, one of the phenomenons that really informs us is what's called the social economy, and oftentimes referred to as the sharing economy. And it's quite simply fractional pricing. I'm amazed by the amount of people who live in a city and don't own a car. Today they don't own a bike. They can literally rent a house by the night, by the options for how you can live your lifestyle and only pay for what you consume in a very instantaneous or spontaneous way is how most people are viewing the world of consumption these days. And if we as carriers and operators don't address that phenomenon, we'll be trying to shove gigabyte plans, all-you-can-eat plans, any other types of indiscernible plans down their throat, and we're simply not going to give them the kind of user experience that they want.
So one thing I find interesting is that you talk about pay by the hour, if you will, as opposed to pay by product or pay by program or pay by movie, pay-per-view, I guess is the generic term, right? Because if you're buying a movie, you know how long it's going to be, but you're watching that one movie. But if you're watching some kind of live programming, you may or may not know. So why is that a better option, you think?
Well, actually, the beauty is we offer all those options. So we start this particular case. One of our first customers is pay by the hour, and the uptake's been phenomenal. They were simply trying to solve the problem of we just keep offering gigabit plans, and we get a lot of customer complaints. People went over, they don't know what happened. So let's just make it simple. And by the way, the other unintended effect it had was a number of casual users who don't have data plans or heavy data plans are now upselling themselves because they like the experience of data. So that's a very simple, solve a problem, give them a metric or a unit they can pay in. But now we're increasingly working through use cases with new customers around access to HD content, access to user-generated content, access to private websites with certain content. So now you start to provide that access. You start to let them select whether they want it in high def or regular formatting. And then in turn, you might be able to also provide them different ways to metric it. It could be group access, is one of the offers we have. It could be, again, hourly access. And now a new one that seems to be very much on the rise is roaming access. So when I'm roaming, I get video without having to wonder or manage myself just how expensive it is and the unknown bill I might get.
Excellent. Well, certainly I imagine that as time passes and get more content, more devices, and just more ways of monitoring it, it's going to be fun watching and seeing what happens with the video content and how the operators are handling it. Look forward to talking with you again about it, John. Thanks for being on our program today.
You bet. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.